All right, ladies and gentlemen, good Monday morning. Let's go ahead and get airborne with our quarterly full throttle training program here at Top Gun Options. Extremely fired up. I love doing full throttles like this every 4 years, right in front of an election, because we have so much to talk about. A lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, crazy stuff going on in the country, crazy stuff going on in the markets. And I'm going to show you how we're potentially profiting, not potentially, we are profiting, and how we can potentially profit going forward. Because, man, there's from the Federal Reserve last week to Israel being at war with Lebanon right now to Donald Trump almost getting executed. I mean, man, there's craziness going on to a potential government shutdown that was just averted. We have so much to talk about, lot to cover, and I'm excited. So welcome aboard. Got a lot of people registered, a lot of new folks registered. I'm the only guy in the industry that does this, folks. Everybody else will give you an hour and a half of 153 PowerPoint slides and then ask you to join their service. I do the exact opposite. I'm going to give you a little PowerPoint slides, then we're going to get in the market for the next 3-4 days this week and trade live. I'm going to treat you like you're visiting my squadron and you're walking around and checking out flight operations. If it's for you, great. If it's not for you, great. And we go on our way, okay? I'm actually inverting what I usually do for full throttle. Usually I save this part till like Wednesday or Thursday. So I'm actually inverting it, and you'll find out why in a little bit. So, but real quick, how many of you woke up this morning and said thank you, either to a loved one, to God, if you choose that word, to the universe, to something? Folks, 90% of what we're going to talk about this week is emotional. Okay. If you woke up this morning and said, man, I can't wait for this full throttle training, I need to make money, or I want to make money, that's the wrong way to do it. Now, I'm extremely fired up that you said, hey, I can't wait for this full throttle, but I'm warning you that wanting something or needing something comes from a place of lack. If you woke up this morning, you're doing better than a lot of other people on the face of this planet. If you woke up with a roof over your head, with running water, with electricity, with food, with a loved one, you're on the internet, for God's sake, and you probably have some sort of mobile device or a laptop, and you might have a little bit of money to be able to invest. Folks, you're blessed. You are absolutely blessed. So, up until a couple years ago, there's no way in hell I would have started a full throttle session talking like that. And you're going to find out, or you're going to find out, why I talk like this now. I think I've always known that, but that was kind of buried for the longest time. Okay, so I'm grateful you're here. I'm grateful you woke up this morning. I'm grateful I woke up this morning, got my yoga in, and I am centered and I am ready to go. And you have got to be centered. You have got to be ready to go to invest and trade, because a lot of what we talk about isn't exactly good. We're actually going to talk about the Fed cutting rates 50 points last week. That was bad. Well, I mean, it's good if you're us and you're in the evil 1% in this country, but it's bad for 99% of Americans, and we'll get into why. So a lot of what we're going to talk about has a lot of bad stuff going on, but we're going to make money off of it. But we start from a position of being centered, okay? My mission objective for the week, folks, is to give you up-to-date intelligence briefs. Man, a lot of things are happening from the Middle East to Europe to Asia to our markets to the Federal Reserve to an election to Congress to earnings. You name it, things are changing rapidly, and you got to be up to speed. You got to be up to date, and I am. Then we're going to, I'm going to show you how to trade options. Real quick, let's do our first poll. Let me ask you all a question. What is your level, where is it? What is your level of options knowledge? Let me figure out my audience here. So what's an option? I know kind of calls and puts. I trade spreads, or I'm a Jedi master. I'm an options Jedi. And remember, one of the mottos of Top Gun is what? You think you're good, we'll make you better. Okay, so go ahead and vote real quick. What's your options knowledge? What's an option? Basic calls, puts, covered calls, spreads, or I'm an options Jedi. Let's go ahead and vote, and we will press forward. About half of you have voted. I don't know what the other half of you are doing. Pay attention to the brief, right? When you're in a brief, you silence the electronic nicotine, you shut the door, and you focus on the brief, right? Yep. Trade spreads, but need to be better. David, I can help you trade spreads better. Okay, going to close the poll, and let's take a look at where we are. What's an option? Just a small fraction. That's perfect. Welcome aboard. 28% are basic calls, puts, covered calls. Awesome. That's the gateway drug. That's how I went from trading stocks to never looking at trading stocks again randomly. We will talk about a couple stocks this week that I would buy because there's not too much options activity. So for you, basic calls, puts, covered calls, welcome aboard. We're going to take you to where the 58% of the folks joining us in this brief are trading spreads. And then my options Jedis, I'm going to make you better. Awesome. Okay. Now, real quick, since I already know kind of what the audience is, let me see who you are. Hey, Wiz, I'm a current member. If you're a current member, folks, you should be in solo Amazon right now. We're going to do solo Amazon on Thursday. Okay, we'll talk through some solo Amazon. I am going to talk about Amazon as part of our trade brief in a little bit. Look at the November, excuse me, bullish double vertical from 2 weeks ago. You're up 270%. Can I get a hell yeah if you put the Amazon bullish double vertical on 2 weeks ago? You're welcome. All right. Current member, former member, brand new, somewhat familiar. I've been kicking the tires and following you around for a little bit. Okay. Couple more seconds. Current member, former member, 9%, or I'm sorry, brand new, and then somewhat familiar. Tire kicker. That's fine. I love all of this. This is what I need to know. Okay, let me close this and share it with you all. 60% voted, which means I have no idea what the other 40% are doing. You're still not listening to me, which is annoying. Okay, current member, former, brand new, 16%, tire kicker. All right, so the bottom third or 3/4 is who I want to talk about and target. Current member, obviously we're going to, like I just said, talk about some Amazon this morning and some other stuff. So, all right. And I'm going to show you this week how to turn panic into profit. And not necessarily just panic. Let's call it volatility. Let's go look, before we even go forward, at the S&P 500 for the past, I don't know, 6 months. Let's take a look at a 6-month chart of the S&P 500. Okay. Anybody starting to see something? I mean, we were having this rip your face off rally, and then we saw big pullback, bounced, and then a lot of volatility in here, didn't we? So look at this. We, current members, Top Gun Options members, have been literally printing money trading a tactic called double verticals. I'm going to teach you what a double vertical is this week. It needs violent movement in the market, and that's exactly what we've been getting. I'm going to teach you different tactics, right? If all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. That's not what we do here. I trade different tactics. Look at the end of last year, November, December. Do you remember Jerome Powell saying right here, I think we're going to cut interest rates next year? And then we had a rip your face off rally. What was that? 7-month rip your face off rally. I did not trade double verticals in here. That wasn't what was needed, right? In here with violence, we trade double verticals. So different tactics for different market conditions. That's what you're going to learn here at Top Gun Options. Okay. Now, what do you need to trade successfully? Okay. There's three things that I guarantee you need to trade successfully. And it ain't rocket surgery, but let me map them out. You need training. I didn't say edumacation. The world is full of educated derelicts, to steal a quote from Calvin Coolidge, a quarter of a quote. You need to be trained. Fighter pilots are trained, doctors are trained, plumbers are trained, right? For a reason. Education gives you nothing. I know a lot of book smart people that are completely stupid. So I'm going to train you, and we're going to take what is called a building block approach. It's called OWS, Options Weapons School. We're going to start with, this is the stock market. These are stocks. These are options. These are calls. These are puts. And we take that building block approach. This Full Throttle week is kind of like Options Weapons School squeezed down into a couple of days, okay? After you get your training, you need a tight plan. Everybody go look over on the handouts tab. Over on the right, under your control panel, there are two handouts. Does everybody see those? Give me a vertical head nod. It says TGO Combat Trade Plan, 1 page. Print that out. Not right now, you don't have to. And then TGO Trade Plan Long. That's like a 12-page trade plan, okay? Everybody see that? So this week, today, throughout our training, our free training this week, I'm going to show you a trade plan. I went from the skies of Iraq and Top Gun to Wall Street. Both of those are a form of combat. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their ass handed to them. You need a plan to execute. You're going to get, well, you just got one, and we're going to practically apply it in our live trade brief today, tomorrow, through Thursday. After you've got your training and your solid plan, you need to practically apply what you're doing. Plumbers train, they have a plan to do something, and then they have to go practically apply it as an apprentice for a couple years, right? So folks, you are in the practical application right now. You're in a live trade brief. Monday through Wednesday, I get in here for an hour, hour and a half, 45 minutes. It depends on what's going on in the market, and we trade live in the market, firing actionable trade ideas. That's what you need to trade successfully. I've been trading for over 3 decades, folks. I've been training people 15 years, over 15 years. This is what you need. How do you know what I need, Wiz? Because I've been you. I've been there. I want to make money trading. Okay, now what do I do? Now what? Well, I've been you. So I rose from being a self-taught retail trader to the managing director of a multi-billion-dollar volatility arbitrage firm headquartered in the Chicago Board of Trade. And I also started my own financial media company called the Options News Network that would shoot on the floor of the CBOT and also the CBO, Chicago Board Options Exchange, right? ONN.TV. This is, and then after there for years, I'm like, you know what? This is really annoying. No offense to people in Chicago. You can keep it. I'm a Navy guy. I'm a beach guy, and I need warmth. Walking from Union Station to the Board of Trade in February was a survival situation, stepping over dead bodies in the cold. So I said, you know what? I can do this on my own. So I moved down here to God's Waiting Room, Boca Raton, and started Top Gun Options. 14 years in business, 10,000 investors. I think that's on, I haven't updated that number in a while. That's a lot more than that, folks. And we also have 2 investment clubs called Max Afterburner and the Hunters. This is what Top Gun Options looks like. This is the change that I've done to this Full Throttle than other Full Throttles. I'm showing you everything at the beginning, and if you think you like it, you can stay. Otherwise, you can split. So I really like this new format. What is Top Gun Options? On the left side of the fence, we have training. We just talked about training. You should open a brokerage account with a broker. I think just about every broker has a virtual trading platform, a paper trading platform, whatever it's called, folks. So you can train. Do not think that you can read a book on flying the Hornet and run out to the airplane and try and either start it or get airborne. Okay, folks, it's just physically impossible. You need to go to what's called the simulator building. We go to the simulator building, man, and we practice our start procedures. We practice our emergency procedures. We go to the ship, we drop bombs, we do all sorts of stuff before we ever get near a real F-18 Hornet. Okay, so on the left side of the fence in our training environment, we have solo Amazon. As I said, we're going to do that brief on Thursday. Monday at 10 a.m. right now is usually our solo Amazon brief, but I booted it to Thursday so we can do our full throttle for the week. Okay, so solo Amazon and then full throttle. You are in the full throttle training week right now. Okay, and then once you're ready to deploy some real capital, you can join one of our training clubs, our investment clubs, where you can put some real capital at risk with other like-minded members and me. This is where I place my trades as well. It's called the Hunters and then Max Afterburner. Max Afterburner is our lifetime membership. It's our most elite membership. We can talk about that somewhere down the road. But this is what Top Gun options look like. So this week, here's what we're doing. Underneath the training arm, right? We said solo Amazon on Thursday and then full throttle right now. In the full throttle program, folks, I'm going to show you, you get access to 5 options weapons school training sessions that I mentioned a little while ago, right? Those are your building block approaches. Dude, I don't even know what the hell a put is or a call option. Options weapons school. And then we practically apply in the live trade briefs. I learned yesterday an iron condor in my options weapons training, and Wiz is talking about an iron condor today on Intel. Okay, so we're in the training environment down here in full throttle. Options weapons school, like I said, is 5 training sessions building block approach. These are all recorded. You can, as soon as you join, you go and watch them. And here's what they are. As I said, building block approach. This is how Wiz gathers his intelligence. He gave me some investing basics, and he blew out the trade plan. He went through the trade plan. Then options basics, calls and puts. And then session 3, covered calls. That's why I'm glad a lot of folks are in here like, yeah, I kind of do some calls and puts and covered calls. Great. You should still do all of these. And for the 1% of people that said, hey, I don't even know what options are, you start here, right? But I would say even the Jedi Masters in this room should start here and go all the way through these. These are 5 lectures, briefs, hour, maybe hour and a half max, each one of these. People who have been here for years tell me they rewatch these things because guess what? They learn something new. And I update these. I do maybe once a year or twice a year. I'll go in and make these fresh, right? Because they're evergreen technically, right? A bull call spread is a bull call spread 30 years ago. It'll be a bull call spread 30 years in the future. That doesn't change. But the underlying, the ETF, the stock, the index I'm talking about obviously changes. So I'll go in here maybe once a year or twice a year and go freshen these up. But these are the most current. I think we did them last month. So these are super current and ready to go. Okay. So our live trade briefs, this is what we do here at Top Gun Options. Every Tuesday at 10 a.m. is the primary live trade brief. And Wednesday, we call it AR, accelerated retirement. These are usually longer term bullish trades all the way out into the future. And in the primary brief, we can trade some really long-term trades, but I usually focus on the front months. What are the front months? You're sitting in it, right? September, October, November. Monday, as I said, is solo Amazon. Okay, and that's Monday at 10 a.m. It's not included in full throttle. It's its own standalone program. Okay, so that's essentially full throttle. 5 training sessions and your live trade briefs. Okay, in the live trade briefs, what do? We practically apply what we learned in our training, and this is our methodology. And you're going to see me do this live in a couple minutes in the market. SOT. This is copied and pasted from the United States military, folks. Strategic, operational, tactical. Use this in your investing. Even if you don't become a member, this is how you need to think and trade. What do I mean by that? Most every person in this room, unless you're a current member or a former member, You're very tactical. You don't know what you're doing for lunch today, let alone what you're bullish on 2-3 years out into the future. You're very, very tactical. You wake up, put on your bunny slippers, grab a cup of coffee, turn on CNBC, and hey, that guy's good looking dude with a nice suit talking about this stock. I'm going to buy that stock. And now you're broke, right? It's just very tactical trading. In today's brief and the rest of the week, you're going to see how I trade, which is SOT. Today, I'm going to do a strategic brief. I'm going to pick up my binoculars and I'm going to look around the globe. You have got to know what's going on around the world, economically, politically, militarily. All three of those things impact your portfolio and our market. When Russia invaded Ukraine, what happened? When the Brits had their Brexit vote, what happened to the market? Okay, the ECB or the Eurozone. Does anybody remember the Greek debt crisis? Your 401k most likely became a 101k, and you're like, why are our markets imploding? Oh, it's Greece. Do you remember that? You have got to look around the globe. So depending on what's going on in the world, that's a 5-10 minute brief, part of the brief, 5, 10, 15, part of the brief. I guarantee you, and I'm awesome at making predictions. My call sign should be Whizstradamus, not Nostradamus, it's Wiz. In the next 4 years, Xi Jinping and China will take back Taiwan. I guarantee you. How do you think world markets will respond? What do you think is going to happen to the semiconductor sector? I guarantee you. And if you have no idea when or if that's going to happen, and you wake up and look at the S&P down 1,000 points and the VIX volatility index up 90, and you're surprised, you're a fool. I guarantee you I will print money when, not if, that happens. So after we do that part of the brief, Renato, not possible. Renato, shoot me an email and I will make you a bet, my friend. I guarantee you that's going to happen. Either by hard military force or soft force, they will take back Taiwan. Xi Jinping told his generals 3 years ago, be ready to invade Taiwan by 2027. I guarantee you that's going to happen. I will be right. Sure. Okay, after we do our strategic brief, we peel back the onion and we get operational. And we take a look at what's going on in the United States, domestically, politically, economically. What happened last week, folks? The Fed, the Federal Reserve, cut rates 50%. They went huge, which means they're lying. And that's not going to shock you, right? Of course, they're lying to us. Speaker of the House just again punted because he's a coward on the SAVE Act. So instead of tying that to a funding bill, he pulled it, and now we're not going to have a government shutdown. We have to talk about all of these things, folks. Earnings coming up. We're getting ready to head into another earnings period. We have to brief all of these things. So after the strategic part of the brief, then we get operational. Okay? Then, and only then, will we get tactical and trade. If you're a brand new person and you come into one of these briefs and go, why is he talking about all this crap? Where are the trades? Once in a blue moon, I do get people like that. Like, why are you talking about what's going on over there? What about Intel? We'll get to Intel, man. Throttle back. You need to SOT, peel back the onion, and then get tactical, folks. If you are a tactical trader, you will burn out. You will go broke or you will burn out. If you're so tactically focused, you got to pick your eyes up, man, and look down range. I guarantee you. Okay. And I just gave it to you. You can download it over there. You have a 1-page trade plan. And then I gave you the longer trade plan as well over in the handouts. Okay. And when I go through our live trade brief each day this week, I'm going to zip through this trade plan. Okay. I might not say, hey, now we're at step 3. I've done this for so long. I just zip through that trade plan, but I guarantee you I cover each part of that. You should go to Staples, Office Depot, somewhere, order it from Amazon. You need to get a trade plan, a journal. Some people use an Excel sheet. I can share with you some electronic, trade plan type of things. Folks, I'm old. I take a pen I take a piece of paper and I write down my trades and my trade plan. Why? Because a week or two from now, when I look at a trade and it's going as planned and I hit my profit target, or if it's not going as planned and I hit my exit target, I see my handwriting. Me. I wrote this down. I said, Wiz, you're going to leave at this point or this point. It's at that point. Do something. Look at the top left of the slide. It says discipline, risk management, that equals superior execution. Do it. When it's like on a Word document or an Excel sheet, when I see numbers, I blow it off. Like, nah, I said that weeks ago. That wasn't me. It's an Excel sheet. I write my stuff down. Okay. So this is the tactical trade plan, and we're going to cover it here in a couple minutes. We're going to get going. I'm not going to cover a bunch of case studies. You can go to Trustpilot. You can go to Facebook. You can look at all our reviews and stuff like that. Excellent reputation. Been doing this for a while. A lot of happy customers. Oh, and by the way, how's the average hedge fund doing? Look at last year. The average hedge fund returned 9.29%. 9.29%. The best year hedge funds have had in the last 5 years, 11% in the COVID crisis, when Jerome Powell jumped in to save capitalism and printed money like it didn't matter. And now we're looking at inflation and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, that's the smart money, folks. Or maybe we're the smart money. There's my personal brokerage account from last year, 151% return. The Dow the Dow essentially did what the average hedge fund did. The NASDAQ did 38% and the S&P was about 20%. They all sucked. Destroyed the market last year, folks. And when did my portfolio really start outperforming everybody? When the volatility hit last fall. Folks, everybody is a genius when the market's going straight up, right? Well, guess what? You know who the actual true geniuses are? People like me who make money when the market's doing this. That's when the true geniuses shine. So that's why you should listen to me. Year to date, I'll show you all these portfolios. Solo Amazon's about 100 grand. Primary 329 grand. A lot of S&P 500 trades in there. Weekly options 138. A lot of S&P in there. Also trading some Chipotle, some Qs, and some Starbucks. ARs, the lagger, down there at like 66 grand. Okay. Any questions about any of this stuff, folks? Here's what I want to do, and this is, I'm changing the full throttle flow because I want to let you know right at the front what the investment is to get airborne. So if you see this and you're like, well, I'm not doing any of that, then you can leave and you can have the rest of the week to yourself. So the investment to get airborne, folks, here in the full throttle program, there's 3 ways you can go. Okay. 90% of members here in Top Gun Options are in full throttle max, folks. It's just under $3 grand a year. It's $29.95. The single Amazon trade that we covered 2 weeks ago is up more than this. You would have paid for an annual membership in the Top Gun Options with one Amazon trade. Okay. So, folks, you get access to all the briefs, the options, weapons school, the manuals. I didn't even cover the manuals. You get the app. We have an app. You get access to a forum that's called the Ready Room. And at the bottom, folks, is some really, it should be at the bottom, but it's really important, angel investment opportunities. We've, TGO Full Throttle Max members have gotten the ability to invest in a documentary project, a supplement, healing supplement company, the Oregon Retreat Center, and a REIT, Healing Realty Trust. So this is 50% discount, $29.95 for a year. I'll give you the link to this. If you want access to the Hunters, which is one of our investment clubs, and Full Throttle, but only for a couple months to kick the tires to make sure I'm not a complete idiot, it's $497 a month. But if you stay in there the whole year, it's like 12 grand. Why would you do that? You should be in here. That's why this is 50% off. So some people who want to kick the tires a little bit and get access to an investment club, do that one. Okay. Now, the kind of gateway drug to get in here, folks, is $295 a month. Okay. That's a decent bottle of wine. $295 a month, but you do not get access to the investment club. You do not get access to the hunters. Okay. So this is literally your tire kicker. Yeah, I will. I'll give you the link in a second here. Okay. I'm starting with this because usually I give people a ton of free trades and content during the week and then show this at the end. And I'm like, wait, why don't I tell everybody at the beginning? Okay. So let's go ahead and I'll answer that. Scott, great question. So let me give you the link because I am going to, unlike before where I usually wait to the end, you can go grab your memberships now. We will be closing the doors at 50 memberships, period. So let me give you the page right now, and you can keep it. You know, if you're not ready to do it right now, you need to see a little bit more, you have the link. Okay, let me give you this right here. Okay. All right. And we do, and it's interesting because a lot of people are like, do you close the doors? We do. There's people that are like, I tried to join and it's, yeah, when we get 50 new, I don't want a zoo, folks. I don't want the Battle of Britain. I can't stand, yeah, let's just say we do shut the doors when we get 50. So you can scroll down and you can, select. Full throttle max annual is the way to go. You save 50%. Okay. Thomas, I'm going to ask that question here in a question. Yeah, Brent, I do have borders. So the hunters, you get access to the hunters, which is our investment club, and full throttle, but this is month to month. Like if you want to kick the tires for a while and check out the investment club, boom. Obviously, this is it's a 50% discount, folks. And then the $295 is the kick the tires. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get this out of the way so we can get airborne and do our stuff. Any questions on this? As we go, you can always ask me questions about the memberships and stuff like that. But I wanted to get that out of the way first. So if you're sitting here going, man, that's awesome. Great. If you're like, no way, then you can find something else to do. Okay. But like I said, most members here are in an annual membership. So let's knock out some quick admin before we get into the heart of the matter here. Go to webinar. You're in go to webinar. If you want to take a screenshot, like the window you're looking at me and has a little camera icon at the top, like if I'm covering trades this week and you want a screenshot of it, just click that icon, or you want to screenshot anything and it'll save it to your desktop. Okay. The chat, anytime we have more than 200 people in a brief, we have to be in go to webinar, not go to training. When we're just doing our member briefs, we're in go to training. You can see each other's chat and everybody's having a good time talking back and forth. But in these larger free briefs, we're in here. So if you're wondering why you can't see people's chat, I have no idea why go to webinar does that, but I see your chat if you're talking to me. Okay. Oh, let me give you the replay page before I forget, in case you can't attend tomorrow or anything like that. This is the replay page. Now, on this replay page is everything from last quarter. These aren't up to date. Today's replay will be posted on this page. So I will get rid of the old training days in here to clean the page up. But this one will be in here obviously after we're done. Okay, but that is the replay page. Everything from this week. If you can't make every brief this week, don't worry about it. I'll hook you up with the replays. Okay. Any questions on that? All right. So 50 annual memberships open. Well, I was going to say tomorrow, but no, they're open right now. And we'll do solo Amazon. If you want to learn how to join solo Amazon, we'll do that on Thursday. Okay. Any questions on any of this stuff? Okay. All right. Real quick, folks, if you don't know who I am by now, we're just going to ripple through this real quick. Matthew Buckley, call sign Wiz, former Navy Hornet pilot, Top Gun grad from the adversary course, deployed for Operation Southern Watch, Noble Eagle, and Enduring Freedom. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. You don't join the military to get rich, clearly. You join the Navy to see the world, defend your country, and do some cool things. I was always interested in finance, folks. I was always, reading the Wall Street Journal, reading books on trading and finance and stuff like that. I wanted to make a little extra money, man. Like I said, ain't going to get rich in the military. So I applied everything I was learning as a fighter pilot to my trading, having a strategy, implementing tactics, contingency planning. knowing when to get out of a good or bad situation before it got worse, managing risk. I applied all of that to my trading with incredible results. But Top Gun Options is actually the result of a tragedy, if you can believe it. The morning of September 11th, I was getting ready for my first flight as a pilot for American Airlines. First plane hit, holy crap. Second plane hit, knew we were under attack, raced out to Naval Air Station Fort Worth, where I was flying the F-18 for the reserves. And we stood up a combat air patrol with the F-16s next door from the SPADs, the 457th Fighter Squadron. A couple days later, I actually launched and put a small airplane into forced it to land, and that made national news. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. I lost my job at American Airlines. I lost my health care. I lost everything. I'm like, holy crap, trading was a hobby to me in the background, and I was pretty damn good at it. So I'm like, I need to eat. I need to pay my mortgage. So I started trading full time, and my returns got even better. And I ended up popping up on the radar of one of the largest volatility arbitrage trading companies headquartered right here in the Chicago Board of Trade. See those big, beautiful windows? That was our trading firm right there. This is the inside. I helped build a hedge fund when I was there. I helped build a retail brokerage many of you might have traded at with, it was called Options House. And man, just had an absolute blast. 38-year-old out of the Navy, on the Wall Street, managing director, and I was the founder of the Options News Network, as we talked about. I jokingly tell people I felt like Valentine in Trading Places, right? Little old kid off the street up there with the smart money. I learned the smart money ain't that smart, folks. Trust me. They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like a normal person. And most of the smart money I met was actually pretty damn stupid. How do I know that? Because I wrote a book about it. COVID crash. Does anybody remember what happened during the COVID market crash, which I predicted to the day? What happened? All the smart money on CNBC said what? Oh my God, we need to close the markets. Or no, this is the bottom, down 2,000 points. No, I'd be a buyer here, down 3,000 points. Donald Trump posted a tweet one morning. Stocks are looking good here. I'd be a buyer of stocks. Dow went down 3,000 points the next day. We made $75,000 in a live trade brief. We made $2.5 million in about 2 to 3 weeks. Absolutely insane. I wrote a book about it. And then they got it wrong at the bottom. I remember Bill Ackman or Kyle Bass like crying on CNBC, we need to close the markets. I'm like, no. Just because you're long, just because you're bullish right now and you're getting destroyed, I'm on the other side of your trades, you moron. So the smart money, ladies and gentlemen, ain't that smart. You can tell you what, if you become a full throttle max member today or this week, shoot me an email, whiz@Top Gun Options. I'll send you a signed copy of this, and you can read all about how we printed money during the COVID crash. It was an absolute blast. And they got it wrong when the market turned around. Right? I'm also the host of the Max Afterburner podcast, ranked in the top 2.5% of podcasts in the world. And this is my other passion. I love helping people trade and invest and get better. But this is my other passion, which is the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. 22 to 44 veterans take their own lives every day. It's staggering. It makes me, every time I say that, I catch myself because it's heartbreaking. 3.5 years ago, everybody know who Marcus Luttrell is? I went down to Mexico with Marcus Luttrell, JT, Jared Taylor from Black Rifle Coffee, and another Navy SEAL, and also an NFL player who was suffering from horrific head trauma, CTE. And folks, I sat with psychedelic assisted therapy, and it saved and changed my life. There's us in Mexico. That's Robert Gallery. He was an All-American in Iowa, played for the Raiders. There's Marcus, there's JT, and there's JJ. JJ is a Top Gun Options member right now. So that is my other passion, is putting down the ladder to help save and change the lives of our nation's heroes with psychedelic assisted therapy. That, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, is one of the only sectors I'm bullish on the rest of my life is psychedelic assisted therapy. Finally, that's me and the kids. Clearly, I'm a hell of a lot older, but I love this picture because it's when we left Chicago to start all of this stuff. He's in the Air National Guard, wanting to take after his old man. He's a sophomore at Boulder with Coach Prime, and she is a junior in high school, going on 30 years old. So I am blessed, and I'm so happy you guys are here. All right, quick flight schedule. You're in the Welcome Aboard and Investing Basics. We're going to get into it right now. We're right on schedule. We'll talk some options basics tomorrow, some spread training on Wednesday, and then Thursday, as I told you, we're going to do solo Amazon, which is the only stock you need to own for the rest of your life. Okay, that went 40 minutes, which was perfect. Any questions, concerns? Oh, by the ways, before we get airborne, let me scroll up real quick here. Hey, Joey, what's up, man? We listen to idiots. You got it, Scott. If I go for Hunter's monthly or the Full Throttle Max yearly, what would be a good starting amount to be worth the time and subscription cost? Nikolai, it just depends. I can't give you individual investment advice. Most people, you can start with $5,000, $10,000, to open a brokerage account, and with on margin, it's about $2,000. But I in my briefs, I will show you one contract trades, and then you can scale up your trades appropriately based on your portfolio size. Okay, Renato, are you serious about Amazon being the only stock to own? If so, why? Yeah, I am. Come to the solo Amazon brief and you'll find out why it is the only stock to own. It is diversified in and of itself, and it's called the Death Star. It is taking over everything. Renato, I think you sent that question to support, and they replied to you. So, all right, here we go. Did you see what happened last week? Did you see that the COVID czar, the New York City COVID czar, he's on video. He's on video saying during all the lockdowns, they were having, I had to be kind of sneaky about it. I was running the entire COVID response for the city. We rented a hotel. We all took ecstasy, 8 to 10 of us in a room, just being naked with friends. We went to some underground dance parties. Boom. Of course you didn't see any of this. Of course you didn't see any of this in the national media. Can you believe this? Can you absolutely believe this, folks? New York City COVID czar, full interview of him talking about, oh yeah, all of us in the city leadership, we weren't locked down. We were having naked sex parties with drugs. There you go. That's good. IRS agents endorse Kamala Harris. Isn't that great? So this weekend, I found out that the IRS has a union, which is crazy enough in itself, and they support Kamala Harris. So 87,000 new IRS agents. Stand by for your audit. Israel kills top Hezbollah commander in Beirut strike. I think they actually got Nasrallah over the weekend. It's pretty interesting how the media keeps tiptoeing that they're getting closer to war. Folks, they are in a full-blown war right now. So Israel has pivoted away from Gaza, where it's kind of quieted down a little bit, and now it's a full-blown war with Hezbollah and Lebanon. This is just, what's this have to do with trading? Everything. Iran is sitting in the background, folks. When, not if, when Iran gets a nuke, they will use it. How do I know that? They've said they're going to do it. Somebody tell me what's going to happen to the volatility index or the S&P 500 when, not if, a nuke is used in between Israel versus Iran. I guarantee you that's going to happen. It's going to be awful. Ukraine is still bad. Zelensky is in Pennsylvania today, I think, going to a weapons factory, checking out arms and stuff like that. But we're starting to hear, we're going on what, folks? Year three? Year three. Third year of this war. People dying, Ukrainians dying, Russians dying. What are we doing, man? You got to feed the MIC, right? The military industrial complex. All the failed generals and admirals who lied to us about Afghanistan and Iraq for 20 years are now keeping us in this war when we all know what the outcome is going to be. But more people die on a daily basis. It's just a meat grinder. There's a revolving door between the Pentagon and the defense contractors. It's a disgrace. But so war in the Middle East, war in Europe, and I'm telling you, war is going to be coming in Asia. I mean, China is buffaloing around in the Pacific with the Philippines, with Japan, with South Korea, with Indonesia. Their ships just bumping into each other and fighting each other. They are taking over. Folks, under Barack Hussein Obama, the Chinese took barges full of dirt, Chinese dirt, went to an atoll, a bunch of atolls in the middle of the Pacific, dropped the dirt, made a runway, essentially stationary aircraft carriers, and called it China. They moved the Chinese border 600 miles into the Pacific. We are in a lot of trouble. The world is a very dangerous place. Okay, operational. How about Intel, man? Intel advances after reports say Apollo had offered to make a multi-billion-dollar investment in the chip stake. Wow. So take a look at Intel this morning, man. Amazon. We had good news last week on Intel and Amazon, didn't we? Look at Intel this morning. Nice pop. It was up a hell of a lot higher than that, but potential buyout. We'll see from Apollo. People are circling the wagons around Intel. We'll talk about Amazon in a second here, but that's kind of leading the headline. Okay, let's dig in deep to Powell's rate cut. You're being gaslit, folks, and that's probably not going to shock too many people in this room. You're being gaslit. What do I mean by that? You do not cut 50 points, 50 basis points when everything is super fun, fantastic, happy time. Unemployment's great, inflation's great, everything's great, Wiz, but we're going to cut 50. That is crazy. Okay, it is absolutely crazy. Something doesn't add up here. This week, the Fed started their rate cutting with a 50. Whoa. A week ago, folks, the odds were what? 25. We're going to get a quarter. It's baked in. Then what happened? In 1 week, folks, if you were here and as a member, every day that went by, what did I tell all of you who are members right now? I'm like, I've never seen anything like this before. It was the tail trying to wag the dog. So 1 week before the meeting, market saw a 70 chance of 25. Even 24 hours before the decision, odds of a 25 were as high as 72. Folks, the Fed got buffaloed. Unbelievable. I'm not going to dig in all this stuff. I mean, Pocahontas was frothing at the mouth that they needed a 75. Political figures in Washington were calling for a 75 basis point cut. Unbelievable. The Fed, folks, was getting pressured to pivot and pivot big. You know, and you can dig in all this. This guy does a fantastic job of mapping everything out. This is a great, let me give you this link because this is a great debrief. For the sake of time, I can't dig into all of it, but folks, this guy nailed it. So Jerome, look at the sub headline here. Jerome Powell says the economy is strong, but still cuts rates by 50 basis points. Somebody tell me why. Rick, that's definitely one of them, right? Folks, the Fed is also cutting rates because we're broke. The interest on our debt is like higher than the defense budget, folks. We can't even afford to pay the interest on our debt. So that's, Rick, you nailed it. That is obviously one of the reasons that the Fed had to cut was because we're broke. Okay. So make no mistake, 50 basis points is a panic cut. I guarantee you it's a panic cut. Big rate cut forces Fed to contend with new obstacles. Look at this. The body's not even cold from the rate cut last week. How big will the next cut be? We're already living in the future here, folks. It's absolute insanity. What happened the day after the Fed cut 50? Federal Express, folks, crashed. Not physically. Well, actually physically. Missing across the board, cutting guidance on weaker demand trends. If you're not a TOPGUN options member, let me remind you of Wiz and Dow theory. Transports and the financials lead us in and out of bad and good. The day after the Fed said we're cutting 50 and everything's great, Federal Express, who was it? Alan Greenspan in the old days used to talk to Fred Smith. Fred Smith, the founder of FedEx, is the canary in the coal mine. When FedEx says everything sucks and their stock crashes, you know something bad is going on. So, and we covered this headline last week. Americans are falling behind on their bills. Wall Street is alarmed. You, me, we live in the economy, folks. We don't live in Washington, D.C. We're not part of that, part of the swamp, folks. But let me remind you of a wizism that you have got to live with. Trade the market you have, not the one you want. Okay? The market we have right now doesn't care. This is another famous wizism. The market only cares when it cares, right? Right now, it don't care, Wiz. Trade the market you have. So right now, folks, the market is at all-time, the S&P 500, folks, is at all-time highs. So right now, we have bullish double verticals on with the S&P 500. Okay? S&P 500. Bullish double vertical. Remember, folks, the market lives out here. Okay? We live in the white. There is not one person in this room who trades with a broker that lets you trade off the left side of a chart. We have to project our thoughts forward in space and time and place our trades today. This is where the market is living, folks. Does anybody in this room think between now and the election day, we're going to see horrible economic data? I don't care if you're a Democrat, a Republican, an independent. There is no way on God's green earth this government is going to report horrific economic data for the next 50 days. Does everybody agree with that, right? You're not going to hear it. So we're going to go higher. You know what? I forgot about that poll. Somebody, I'm not ignoring you, but let me do this. Here we go. I need a sip of water. What is your opinion of the market going into the election, between now and the election day? Lay it on me. Rip your face off rally, markets level off. October surprise, man. Something bad's going to happen between now and the election. There's always an October surprise, Wiz. I'm hearing some things about Waltz. I'm hearing some things about, I'm hearing a lot of things. Rip your face off rally, markets level off. Mike, that's a great way to put it. I'm going to see weak economic news, but they're not going to report it. Correct. All right. So rip your face off rally, markets level off, October surprise, markets pull back. Exactly, Daryl. And we believe them, right? Daryl said the Fed is not influenced by politics. Exactly. So this is what you all said. This is what makes a market. 38% of you said rip your face off rally. 28% say markets level off, and 33% October surprise. So All right. And then, you know what? Let's do the last one. Here we go. Who is going to win the election? Talk about a market. Harris, Trump, Wiz is going to be right again. And I'll tell you, if you don't know what that means, after you're done voting, what that means. Harris, Trump, Wiz will be right again. Because I made a prediction. Yeah, the American people will lose. I made a prediction in 2020 that came true, and it's going to do it again this year. I hope Wiz will be wrong. I hope I'm wrong too, but it's not going to happen. Harris, Trump, Wiz will be right again. Now, it's interesting because the highest vote came from people who know what I said last time. Let me share this. 18% of you said Harris. 39% said Trump. 43% said Wiz will be right again. What did I say in 2020? I said Donald Trump will look like or will win election night, and then he will lose over the following days. Nailed it. That's exactly what happened last time. That's exactly what will happen this time. It will look like on election night, and then over the following days, Donald Trump will lose. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. Period. So, exactly, Scott. All right. David, I'd be glad for you to collect in November. Okay, so let's start digging in. All right, I need to move here. Let's review Amazon. So for all the current members, any questions on the bullish double vertical? So if you're in the November bullish double vertical, look at this. The 165. Look at this. Let's see if I still have that trade up here. $1.70 right now. Look at this, folks. This trade is at $1.70, $1.72 right now. And I'll cover it for the new folks, but this is for my current solo Amazon members. So we placed this trade, when was it? 9 September. And for all the new folks, this is what the solo Amazon member area looks like. So, well, let me go back a little bit. So, well, you know what? I'll go back to the Max Afterburner group. So this is what let me go over here. Groups, Max Afterburner. So underneath the Max Afterburner group, there's, we also have the hunters, and then here's the ready room down here, right? The ready room is for people who aren't in the hunters or lifetime. But let me go up to Max Afterburner. This is our lifetime group, okay? We have a couple threads in here. We have a thread where we post all of our intel and our commentary, and also the trades. So we have two threads because some people really don't care about the intel. This is the hunters too. So if you join the annual $29.95 or the monthly $497, same thing. We have an intel and commentary thread, and then we have our trade alert thread right there. Okay. But up here, it says memberships and replays. Let me click on that. There's accelerated retirement right there. There's the primary live trade brief, which is every Tuesday. And then down here is solo Amazon. Let me click on that. And then this is kind of what the member area looks like. Up here at the top is where you get the link to join all the live trade briefs when you're a member. And then here's all the replays and the live trade briefs. Okay, so we covered this bullish double vertical right here. 9 September solo Amazon. New November bullish double vertical. Okay. Why did we do this? Because we saw a lot of reporting recently that said retailers, hell, Costco's got Christmas trees up. A lot of retailers are pulling forward Christmas because of the election. Walmart, Target, all these things are actually, Susie's got the skeletons up in the yard already. They've pulled forward a lot of the Christmas deals to avoid the volatility of the election. So we did a double vertical. If you're new, I'm going to rip through this, folks, because the answer is yes. I would do this trade today, but different strikes. But a double vertical, folks, let's just go look at the picture so you can see what a double vertical actually is. See that picture down there? It's a bull put spread that funds a bull call spread. Okay. So let's scroll up right here. So 2 weeks ago, we did a bull put spread down at 165, 160, which funded a bull call spread, the 195, 200. We're almost through the top of this bull call spread, folks. That trade you could have gotten, you could have done for a credit, a $47 credit. And somebody asked earlier about contracts and stuff. So I, in the training environment, will do one contract because everybody can relate to a single contract. If you don't have a ton of money, it makes no sense for me to show you what I'm trading in a $100,000 model portfolio. So we do one contract, okay, in the environment. You can figure out however many contracts you want to do, okay? So that was a 47 cent, okay? And I just showed you the trade today, $1.70, 270% return. I mean, look at Amazon since we put that bullish double vertical on. Now, let's talk through trade management. If you are in this trade, and this is for new people too, 7, 8, 9. This week, I'm going to teach you what my SOPs are, standard operating procedure. My SOP, yours can be whatever you want, but most people do this. My SOP says on a credit spread, the bull put spread right there, if you're looking at a 70, 80, or 90% profit on the credit you took in, close it. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the Amazon bullish double vertical that's up 270%, close this bull put spread. It's at 90. When I looked this morning, it's at about a 92% profit. Close it. Pigs get slaughtered. Do not turn a 70, 80, 90% trade into a 100% loser. What do I mean by that? 2 o'clock this afternoon. Breaking news. CNBC is reporting that Andy Jassy, the CEO of Amazon, is the Antichrist, and the stock is down, 30%. Can that happen? Yeah, it could. But you get what I'm saying. I've done this in my career. I have turned a 70, 80, 90% winning trade into a loser. I haven't done it since that time because it sucks. Does everybody understand what I'm telling you? Okay. Pigs get slaughtered. Or what could you do? You could roll that strike up. So right now, why don't we look at, this is a better looking chart. I love stock charts. Let's go up here to Amazon. Again, commit criteria if you're going through your trade plan. I mean, look at this, folks. After that earnings, this earnings was hysterical. We predict Amazon's going to make filthy money. They made slightly less filthy money. Oh my God. What did I tell you down here? So for all the new members, we put on a new long-term bullish synthetic stock trade down there at what? 155, I think it was. We got an Amazon down here at 155. It's at 195 right now. You made $40 in Amazon in the past 2 months. You're welcome. That trade is printing money. Now, if you're new and you joined today, you can go look at the last synthetic stock trade that we did. 19 August, solo Amazon, new synthetic stock. You could go, and the replays to each brief is right up here. They're posted at the top of the page. You press play up there to watch the replay, and then you scroll down to see the trade. That's the trade down there. Okay? All right, let's get back to that double vertical. I would close the bull put spread, the 165, 160, or you could roll it up. Okay. Oh yeah, the Amazon. When is that? Amazon. I just saw that. This is another reason why we keep our member briefs. We're only do 50 memberships once a quarter in Full Throttle. There's about 900 comments and questions in here, and it gives me agita because as an instructor, I can't stand not answering everybody's question and giving personalized attention. Amazon Prime Day, October 8th through 9th. Thank you, Bob. Usually, guess what? We see a little bit of a run out of Amazon. Okay. Whitney, please, pigs get fattened and hogs get slaughtered. There we go. I'll change my thing here. Okay. So why don't we do this? I'm going to change what I'm doing. I will. Let's look at a new bull put spread underneath that. Okay. I think it, well, let's go look at that chart again. And again, if you're sitting here like, dude, you just lost me. I don't even know what a bull put spread is. That's why you join and you watch the spread training. You will know what a bull put spread is. I love this 175 down here. You see that? You see all this chop? There. 175 is a good magnet. That was a little 175 there. Double drill bits over here. 175 is a good, God forbid, between now and when this trade expires, this happens, I think we'd be going back down to 175. I don't think that's going to happen, but the 175 is the bull put spread I would look at right now. Okay. And with earnings, yep, end of October, let's go look. I'd actually move the strikes in. Oh, I'm sorry, the expiration in. Let's go out to October 25th, right? I would not hold this trade through earnings. I would take my profits and run with them. Let's see what the 175, 170 bull put spread looks like. Okay. Oh man, there's no premium in that. Man. Wow. So the options market right now, folks, is predicting Amazon's going to see a rip your face off rally. 185, 180 maybe. And I'm talking to myself, folks. I'll talk you through this in a second here. I mean, technically, this is a month away. Amazon, folks, let's go back to the chart. Amazon usually, well, except last time. I was going to say Amazon usually runs up in earnings. Well, it did run up in earnings, but there it did. But it runs up in earnings. So I like this trade. Let's go talk through it right now. I'll build it with you. Okay. I would keep let me go back to the trade. I would keep the bull call spread that you have on because it's about ready to pop through the top right here. The top of this bullish double vertical is the 195, 200. We're almost in it. Okay, so hold. This is a hold right now. Hold the bull call spread. And I'm just moving the bull put spread up. Okay, any questions on that? So this would be the new bull put spread underneath Amazon here. I would sell a single October 25th, 185 put. That's me saying by October 25th, Amazon is not below 185. I think by earnings, Amazon's about 200 personally. What if you're wrong, Wiz? Happens sometimes. That's why we buy a downside put. We will buy a single 180 put underneath it. Okay. So I'm bullish on Amazon. I'm using puts and it's a spread. This tactic is called a bull put spread. It's not a strategy. There is no such thing as an option strategy. Strategies are high level. Saving for college, income generation, risk management. That's a strategy. A tactic supports a strategy. Can't stand when people on Wall Street can't tell the difference between a strategy and a tactic. Now, $1.21 is the credit you will receive. This is called a credit spread. Okay. So right now I'm stepping through my trade plan. I want you to double the credit you take in. Let's just say it's $1.20. $2.40. I want you to write this down on in your trade journal or whatever. This is where I would maybe eject out of the trade to prevent me from taking a max loss. I haven't even placed this trade, and I'm telling you when I would get out for potential min loss here. in case Amazon rolls over and starts imploding for whatever reason. I've written down on my trade plan, I said I would get out of this trade if it hits 240. Is it time for me to eject? I'm a political science major from South Jersey, folks. I use simple math. Double the credit you take in on a credit spread is where you would maybe eject. Now, notice I didn't say definitely eject. Why? Because I have no idea in the future, even though I am with Stradamus, exactly why Amazon would be imploding. You have to figure out at that time, like, hey, is this a little bit of a pullback? It's just, and it's going to rally again, blah, 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 fill in the blank. You have got to make that decision in the future. But at least in the brief, you mapped it out, right? That's why we brief, folks, and we contingency plan. Okay? So now, and you exactly, Rick, you could enter a stop loss order today. Soon as I click analyze, the first place your eyes are going to go to is not max profit. Do not ever look there first. The first place your eyes must go to is max potential loss. If you're not comfortable with risking 379 bucks, do not do the trade. Do not sit here and go, yeah, I want to make 121 bucks. And again, folks, I do one contract. I can show you as I'm taking my screenshots and stuff, what I would do with a $100,000 model portfolio where I'm deploying 50,000 bucks. But for training, we're looking at a single contract. You got to be a pilot, folks. You have got to put a check mark here. I understand. I'm saluting Wiz. I wrote that down. My max potential loss is 390. I am okay with that. Not going to make me happy if that happens, but I understood my risk. Okay. Then you can put your eyes up here and go, okay, cool. There's a 69% probability using at the money volatility in these options, which we can talk about in training, what at the money volatility means and all that stuff. This is just a basic spread. I didn't think we were going to get into this today, but since the double vertical is doing so good from a couple weeks ago, it's time to adjust the trade. Okay. Now, on this screen is exactly where I say 7, 8, 9. If you're looking at a 70, 80, 90% profit on this credit you take in closing. Okay. With a bull put spread, a credit spread, we make money 3 out of 4 ways. How do we make money 3 out of 4 ways in this spread? You see this dotted line right here? That's the current price of Amazon as I'm talking to you. Amazon goes up, cha-ching, we make money. What if Amazon just stays where it is? It just kind of hovers. It's just moving sideways. You make money. Folks, Amazon can even go down a little bit as long as it stays above our break even, which is 183.79. So 3 out of 4 times, this trade is going to make something. What's the 1 out of 4 where you lose money? Amazon implodes. But I already gave you a point on your checklist that says, hey, if it hits this point, that's going to be a master caution light in my cockpit. Warning, heads up, what's going on with Amazon? Should I eject? Okay. Now, I don't want to get too into the weeds on this. You will learn about this in your training, right? Your spread training that you're going to watch after you join. But down here, there's something called the Greeks. Okay. Right here is a Greek called theta, right? I was a Phi Delta Theta in college. Theta. Theta is time decay. Think about it this way. You're a used car salesman. Somebody comes in with a midlife crisis and buys a Porsche you got. As soon as that Porsche peels out of your dealership, what happens to the Porsche? It depreciates. In the blink of an eye, it immediately is losing money, right? So you, person with the midlife crisis that bought the car, you're not happy about that. So when you buy something, you don't like theta. The car dealership loves theta. As soon as you peeled out of the parking lot, cha-ching, it was depreciating to the point that you get halfway home and your wife calls and says, take the car back, your midlife crisis is over. If you go back to the dealership and beg them to buy the car back, of course they will, for about 50 grand less or whatever, right? Do you understand me? So as this trade goes on in time, look at the theta down there. It's positive. It's eating away at the trade. When you sell something, you like theta. When you buy something, you don't like theta. So in this trade, we can make, I have a saying here at Top Gun Options. Anybody know what unched means? Unchanged, right? If Amazon doesn't do anything today and you have this trade, unched on the day equals time decay. You make money in a credit spread every day that goes by on theta, on time decay. Everybody understand that. If you don't, welcome aboard. Go watch your spread training. Okay. Any questions on this trade? Bullish on Amazon using puts, and it's a spread. It's a bull put spread. Now, if you are new to options and you kind of followed all that stuff, this is the same thing we did back here, this bull put spread. All we did, folks, we took in money from that bull put spread and we helped finance the purchase of a bull call spread above the stock. Okay. This is an advanced tactic. And if you're hanging with me going, I kind of get that, you get it. This is not hard. This is not rocket surgery. Okay. So for now, I'd focus on just what a bull put spread is. Okay. It's underneath Amazon. Let's go take a look at that chart. This is a monster run. Not saying that Amazon's going to pull back here, but little vol in there. But this thing's a monster, folks. 2 months, 3. Remember when Amazon? Hell, I was selling calls up here at 200. Amazon was a $200 stock. The all-time highs post split, obviously, are up here 200. I think Amazon's got a world to run. Yeah, it's called synthetic stock. You know what? That's what we're going to do. On Thursday, join me. We'll do a standalone. It's separate from Full Throttle. We'll do a standalone solo Amazon brief, but I will build a new synthetic stock that is long-term bullish. Look at this. Right now with Amazon today, you can go all the way out to January of 2027 and get long-term bullish. Isn't that cool? So on Thursday, I will show you a synthetic stock position that I would place Thursday in the solo Amazon portfolio. Okay. Any questions on that? We will absolutely do that on Thursday because I went 17 minutes too long today. I wanted to go about an hour. Okay. All right. So any questions on this one? Real quick for current members, let's go take a look at Chipotle. Chipotle is on a run. I absolutely love what's going on with Chipotle. If you're new, what happened right here? Chipotle, in the blink of an eye overnight, their CEO said, I'm out of here. I'm going to Starbucks. Starbucks gave the guy $113 million for a year. Can work from home and use the private jet whenever he wants to. Chipotle imploded that next day. It was down 12%. What did I tell you to do? Buy it with both hands. And this is what's happened. So Chipotle, I would look at selling some short calls out the Friday. But I would definitely, oh, was that only the signing bonus? Oh my God, man. Wow. Thomas, so you would put the Amazon on synthetically, but still take it off before earnings. No. Thomas, the bull put spread, I would close. So 2 separate, I think you're confusing things. The Amazon bull put spread we just covered, I'm going to close either for min loss if I have to eject or my 7, 8, 9. Synthetic stock is out to January of 2027. That's 2-3 years out into the future. I don't touch that. That thing sits in the background and potentially will be a 6-figure trade when it expires. We're going to cover that on Thursday, folks. I will show you how you can get long-term bullish today on Amazon and potentially see nearly 6 figures in profit on a synthetic stock trade, assuming that Amazon keeps kind of going up and to the right, which I Amazon's obscene, folks. The amount of money that company makes is just it's insanity. All right, folks, I went way too long. Usually it's not this long, but the extra 20 minutes that I had to take to introduce you to Full Throttle. You're not gonna hear any of that stuff again. I got to do the welcome aboard. There's a bunch of people that are new to Top Gun options, so we're done with that for the week. Now, tomorrow and the next day, I'm getting in and SOT, strategic, operational, tactical. Jim Bob, filled Amazon, put credit spread. Thanks, Wiz. You're welcome. Which circumstances will lead you to close a leap Amazon? Werner, for me, if Amazon keeps going up and to the right, I don't close when I close the long-term bull synthetic stock, 2 months, I'll close the Jan 27 Amazon synthetic stock in Dece or November of 26, unless it does that. But I absolutely do not believe that'll happen. We'll talk about on Thursday how we trade protective puts underneath our positions. So the only time Werner, in the history of Top Gun options and my personal trading, I have never exited a synthetic stock for a loss, meaning they've all been profitable. The only synthetic stock that got close to me going, should I get out of this, was Apple. You remember years ago when Apple broke 100 and people were like, oh my God, it's over with for Apple. That was the only time that I saw disaster puts on a synthetic stock turn green. And I'm like, it's Apple. It ain't going out of business. I added to that position down there. And then obviously Apple recovered and never looked back. So we'll cover this on Thursday, folks. You only do synthetic stock on names that you know are going to be around 2 or 3 years in the future. Let me end with this. When in doubt, run to Ma. When you're having any doubts in life, what do? Run to Ma, Microsoft, and Amazon. If you did long-term bullish synthetic stock positions in both these names, that's your retirement portfolio. I guarantee you, these things are moving up and to the right. When in doubt, run to Ma. So I used to have Ma, but Apple's rotten in my opinion. I'm not an Apple guy anymore. We talk about that over a beer, even though I don't drink anymore. Okay, again, I went way too long. 90% of the comments in there I couldn't get to or ask questions. This is always the reason why we limit membership, folks. I can't, no offense, but I just can't stand and 9 million people in here, folks. It just doesn't work here. So here you go. 50, we're taking 50 folks this week. If we fill up, tomorrow or whenever, I'll still do the rest of the briefs. That's happened recently a lot. We've filled up our memberships pretty quickly. I'll still do the briefs since I promised I'd do them. But there you go. There is the link to join. Or you can look at this link. It kind of breaks down everything. But we will close when we hit 50. Okay. We have a lot to cover this week, folks. We're going to cover the psychedelic sector. We're going to take a look at some tech names. Obviously, Amazon isn't a tech name to me, folks. It's the Death Star. You'll learn on Thursday why I call it trading the Death Star. Mark, thank you. Excellent brief. I appreciate it, man. So this is Top Gun options. Again, we had about 20 to 40 minutes of me having to kind of give you a welcome aboard and stuff like that. That's over with. Now the rest of the week is we're in it. We're hitting it pretty hard. My phone was buzzing throughout the brief, so that tells me people are joining. For people that are joining, awesome, welcome aboard. But do you a favor. Get in here and start watching your Options Weapons School training, period. It's down here on the right. You see this Options Weapons School. Click on it. Get in here and start watching your training. I forgot to mention, you also get access to your workbooks. You get primary, intermediate, and advanced workbooks. Those things are worth their weight in gold. I reread those workbooks every once in a while to knock the rust off. But this is where you go and you take your building block approach, folks, right there. OWS, Options Weapons School. So let me talk to some folks that are like, man, dude, I'm completely brand new. This is what I built this for, folks, for people who are brand new and options Jedis. This is absolutely built for everybody. Okay, Robert, I was in a biz meeting. Will you resend the meeting and any trade? So yes, folks, this is the replay page. I will send out, you know what? I will send out an email with the trades. I usually don't. I usually reserve those for the members only. But this is the replay page. So here's the replay page. This replay will come up here. I don't know. It takes me about 30 minutes to render the recording. It'll be up here. But I will. I'll send out an email with the trade. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do. I got to take care of my members right now. Let me do that. So over here in the hunters, see where it says trade alerts? Right now, these people are going to get alert. New, let's do this. Amazon updates. So folks, we have an app. So this thing, folks, check out what's going to happen here. So at everyone, I'm going to notify everybody in here. Either close or roll existing Amazon 165, 160 bull put spread. Existing. Yeah. I am closing, or I am adding new bull put spread. And here's what I do. I'm going to insert the image. So you're going to get a notice on your phone rate. Not you don't have the app if you're not a member, but this is how it works here, Top Gun Options. I'm showing you. I forgot to post the trade because I'm all excited. I'm in a live trade brief. So there's Amazon, there's the trade, and then here is the metrics. You see this? Publish post. So right now, every member just got an alert on their app. Boom. I'll send out an email afterwards. I still send out a replay email. Some people, whatever. But right now, you got an alert on your app, and it's right there. It shows you the screenshot. It shows you the trade. Instantaneous. Now, in a normal live trade brief, I do it when I immediately when I cover the trade, because some people are like, dude, I work for a living. I can't attend a live trade brief. So even if you can't be in the live trade brief, you're going to get the trades immediately as I place them. They immediately appear on your app and you get an alert. Really, really, really cool. Okay, so there you go. I just demonstrated that live. You click on it, you can see a screenshot of the trade, screenshot of the metrics, boom. And then obviously, folks, this is, unfortunately, this phone is glued to my body for most of my life. I can be lying on the trades, watching the Eagles almost lose. Somebody will post something like a question. I don't care. Sunday afternoon, I'm answering questions and talking to people and stuff like that. So good stuff. This is what the Hunters looks like. So either do the monthly Hunters or the annual membership, and you will get access to this investment club. If you do the $295 a month, you don't get access to this Hunters. You know, I post my Intel and commentary in here. Other people do. Dennis does something on Chipotle. I posted the Intel news this morning. So this is an active app and trading. I can be sitting on the beach, folks, with my app open and posting trades in here and stuff like that. So this is really, really, really cool. Okay, man, I went way too long, but hopefully you got some stuff out of it. You got some content. Welcome aboard to all the new members. I close the doors at 50, folks. Do not be number 51 because you'll be the first place loser. Okay. All right. I'll get the replay posted here shortly on the replay page, and then I'll see many of you tomorrow. We will do the primary live trade brief tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you're hedged. I'll show you how to hedge tomorrow. Fights on. Namaste and basi basi. Wiz out. See you tomorrow.